Previously on Tomb Raider Chronicles. Yes, that is the Tomb Raider theme. Thank you for reminding me that I'm playing a Tomb Raider game. And with that, our stories continue. Hello everybody, Jonathan Wolf here, and welcome back to the Tomb Raider Marathon. Today we're going to be tackling the second level of Tomb Raider Chronicles, which is the second level of the Rome chapter, which is Trajan's Markets. And yeah, you may notice that we have these two load screens, but yeah, that doesn't matter. I was actually, I was doing some testing, but because the game kept freezing at some points, but it's all resolved now, so that's awesome. But yeah, here we go, the second level of Tomb Raider 5. And yeah, this level is, well, pretty much the same as the last level, I guess. Except that, you know, we have more stuff to do. Okay, so here we are where we ended the, I guess where we ended the last level, except not really. But yeah, the first place we want to go is to this opening over here to the right. Because here we can get a pointless laser sight. And I say pointless because we already have a laser sight with a cross or with a revolver. Not to mention that you actually need the laser sight to actually beat the last level. So there you go. However, the most important thing we want to do is we want to break this box because this will give us a crowbar. And we need this crowbar to continue on with the level. So yeah, similar to Tomb Raider 4. Now, in this direction, there is nothing. It's just a return path in case you fail the tightrope that is actually above me. Yeah, you can actually see the tightrope right there. And right over here, we have this metal door. And here, we can actually use the crowbar. Now, behind me, there is a doorway, or there's actually a blockade with a wooden plank blockade. Right over here. However, you cannot destroy this. And you can also not use the crowbar, so yeah, it's not even, yeah, it's no use. Now, another thing I'm going to show you is over here to the left at the end, we have two gates. We have a gate over there, and we have a gate over there. And the objective is to open that gate that is right over there. However, if we go over here to the left, we can see that we have another gate. However, you may also notice that there's actually a gold rose on the other side, and that is actually the last secret of the level, and you'll see how we get that secret when the time is right. But yeah, for now, let's go ahead and crouch and shoot this box to and claim a small med pack. And right over here, we have our second obligatory tightrope walk, which is awesome. Now, before we use the tightrope, there is a small med pack up in this window. So let's go ahead and collect it. And let's just drop safely. So yeah, once again, let's hold the action button, and then let's hold forward. Now, a part of me thinks that they wanted to make the tie ropes the new rope, or the ropes, or the equivalent of the ropes in this game. However, yeah, these tie ropes are nowhere near as obnoxious as the ropes. Now, the one problem I have with the ropes is, or with the tie ropes, is that the Lara losing her balance is completely random, because sometimes you can go through an entire tightrope section without losing your balance. But other times, you're going to lose your balance every step you take, which is pretty annoying. But at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world. I mean, it is not as badly designed as the ropes. Okay, so once you get to the end, what you want to do is you want to go up there, and yeah, you just want to continue on with the level. However, over here we got this ledge with some shotgun shells, which is going to be very good because in this level we are going to get the shotgun. And yeah, right here we can actually do a running jump to the other side. And yeah, if you decide to, and yeah, you can actually come from the other side to get to here, and then you can do a running jump to that ledge to get the shotgun shells. But This way is faster. So there you go. Okay, so now we're going to drop down here. And on top of this coal, at least I think this is coal, we have some flares. And on the other side of this door that we saw, we have some revolver ammo. And yeah, the reason that door was not able to be opened is because, yeah, on the other side of the door, we have the actual way to continue on with the level. Okay, so as soon as we get into this next room, we're going to get into this puzzle. And basically, we have this wheel that is not connected to these other gears. And basically what we have to do is we have to move that gear on top of, or we have to move that gear so that it actually connects to the other gears so we can actually, you know, open a gate. Now, from this tile, what you can do is you can actually make a running jump for that ledge over there. However, yeah, I'm just going to ignore it because I'm not that good when it comes to that jump. So instead, we're going to drop down here. And then we want to go around this pillar because this pillar has a ladder. And we can get to the top of this ladder and just go around the corner to the left. And also, you may notice that, yeah, the moving sky in the skybox is not. Yeah, you can very clearly see the cut between the moving sky and the skybox, which is, yeah, it looks pretty bad. It almost looks unfinished. It almost looks like it was made with people that didn't care about this game. If only. Okay, so once we're done with the ladder, we want to come over here to the right because over here we have a chain. And by pulling this chain, we're going to move that gear closer to the other gears so that we can actually complete the circuit, I guess. And yeah, basically for this one, you just want to do the rule of 3 and just pull it 3 times. So once we pull it a 3rd time, as you can see, even though they're not touching each other, the gear is in the proper position. Now, you can actually pull the chain a 4th time, but nothing is going to happen, so yeah. Okay, so now that we're done with that, what we want to do is, now we want to go to the other side of this catwalk area. Because on the other side, there is another chain, which is going to activate the gears, or which is going to activate the gear that we moved. Now, unfortunately, if you pull this chain without pulling the other chain, yeah, this chain is going to be useless. But since we use the chain, we can actually operate this gear system, and we can actually move a wheel. So as you can see, we're going to move this guy, and we now have access to this big old statue that has a very badly texturized crotch. I mean, it looks like it has like 4 vaginas inside each other. It's kind of weird. Okay, now before we go down, right over here in this little opening, we have some Uzi clips. So let's go ahead and pick them up. And then we go down here. Now by operating the gears, what we also did is that we open a trapdoor back here. And down here we can actually claim our first off we have some white shot shotgun shells. But also, as you can see, we can claim our first golden rose, which is also the first secret. And yeah, we also have some normal shotgun shells. So that is awesome. And yeah, with that said, that is it for the first secret. So now we can actually go into this next area. And yeah, basically right over here we have this statue guy. So yeah, let's go ahead and see him. Like, yeah, look at this crotch. Like, that looks really weird. It almost looks unfinished, which says a lot of things about this game. Now, another thing that I want to mention is that where the statue is, there's actually a this is actually a receptacle. However, we don't have the item that goes in that receptacle. However, by moving that wheel, we also have this opening on the left. And over here, we actually can claim the item that goes in that receptacle. And here we actually need to use the crowbar to pry this guy off. With one hand. Good lord, Laura. Now, by prying the gold coin, we're going to spawn some rats. And yeah, basically these guys work the exact same way as the scarabs from Tomb Raider 4. However, nowhere near as annoying as the scarabs from Tomb Raider 4. But yeah, right here is where we can use the golden coin. And by using the golden coin, we're going to open the gate that was back at the beginning of the level. But it's also going to open that second gate that I showed you. So yeah, right here we got this gate that opened. And now we got this gate that is over here. Now the gate with the secret is still shut. So yeah, don't even... So yeah, we're not going to go down there yet. So yeah, with that said, let's go ahead and continue on with this area. And right over here, we got this opening in the water. However, we want to continue on over here because at the end of this pathway, we have some revolver ammo. And we are going to use the revolver in this level, so don't you worry. Or we're going to use the revolver to fight enemies. Even though we kind of did in the last level with a dog, but whatever. Okay, so in this water, we have this small med pack. And you may also notice that behind this gate, we have another symbol. And that symbol, yeah, that actually connects to the end of the level of the previous level. And you'll see what I mean when we eventually open that gate. But yeah, unfortunately the gate is shut, meaning that we cannot open it. Now, as soon as we get into this next area, we're going to spawn our first boss. Because yeah, in this level we have to fight like 4 bosses, which is pretty insane. And yeah, right over here we got some revolver ammo. And basically the way this guy works is as soon as he sees you... Come on. Yeah. He's going to lock in and he's going to shoot a laser. And this laser, and that laser, if it hits you, is a one-shot. So yeah, you want to be very careful because you don't want to die to a puny laser, you know? Now, basically, the way to fight this guy is you have to, with the revolver with the laser sight, what you have to do is you have to shoot his 2 eyes. And as you can see, just looking around, be like, where did she go? Where is she? Yeah, basically, what I like to do is I like to just run around over here. And basically, the way this guy fires is he will actually lock in. Or he will actually look at you, and when he starts to charge, he will lock in, and then he will actually shoot. So, yeah, getting hit by this guy is honestly not that hard to do. It's very easy to avoid. But yeah, basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for him to lock onto me. Hello? Yeah, lock onto me. And then with the revolver, I'm just gonna aim at his face, and then 1, 2. And once you shoot both his eyes, he's gonna blow up. And by killing this guy, we now can claim the Mars symbol, which is one of the 2 keys that is remaining for that gate that we saw back in the last level. Now, right over here, we have this nub, which you can actually tell that it's missing, like, a wheel. And, yeah, basically, we have to go find that wheel. So, there you go. Now, back here in the entrance on the bottom, we have some revolver ammo. And we also have this trapdoor that we can open, or this vent that we can actually open from this side, from the more reddish side. So, that's awesome. That's a wall, Laura. Yeah, there you go. All right. And now we got this room. And in this sewer system, well, first off, we do have a small med pack, which is right here. But also, we have this opening down here. Now, you may notice that down here we have this opening. However, yeah, this fan is blowing too hard to the point that we can't get into that opening. So what you want to do is you want to go into this opening that is close, that is much closer to the entrance. And at the end of this pathway, we're going to find this room. Now, there are some shotgun shells, or normal shotgun shells. But we also have this wheel. And this wheel, we can actually remove it with a crowbar. And we can actually use this wheel on that machine that we saw back in that area where we killed that statue. Or I think it's called the Mars Head statue. So, yeah, we now have to go back and use the wheel, you know? And yeah, there's actually nothing, and yeah, there's actually no items in the in this sewer area. So yeah, you can explore if you want, but there's nothing here.
Uh-huh.
All right, so let's climb the ladder, and then let's just do a bunch of jumps. And here is where the wheel goes. So yeah, the valve wheel. Now, when you put it, make sure you hold the action button to actually spin the wheel, because yeah, there has been a lot of times where I play this level and I forget to spin the wheel, and I'm like, oh my god, I have to go back again and spin the wheel because I forgot to do so. Now, before we continue, we want to stand on this tile, and then we want to jump up to grab this scaffolding, and on top of the machine, we can actually claim the second secret of the level, which is awesome. All right, so now that we got the secret, let's go ahead and continue on with the level. That's a wall, Laura. And by spinning the wheel, what it did is that it turned off this fan blade. So now we can actually swim down into this area, no problem. Now, as soon as we get to this next area, we want to go to the left. Because to the left, we can actually go into an area, or to an enclosed area, that has a large med pack. So let's pick this guy up, and now let's move on to the path to the right. Now, to this area, or in this path, you will notice that we have these fan blades that are going to prevent us from going to that opening that is right here on the left. And, well, in order to turn them off, you want to go over here to the end. And up here, we have another wheel that is not even attached to the machine. Wait, is it? No, it isn't. Look at that. That's the magic of PlayStation. That's the magic of PlayStation graphics, baby. Or Dreamcast, because, yeah, that's actually one thing I forgot. And that's that this game was also released on the Dreamcast, similar to Tomb Raider 4. Which is awesome. And yeah, by spinning the wheel, we turned off these fans. So now we can actually just swim up here and continue on with the level. Alright. Alright, and now we are going to fight on our second boss, which is this giant statue guy. Now, as soon as we get over here, we're going to get locked in. And in this tile on the left, we can actually get the shotgun. And this is actually very important because we are going to use a shotgun for this next fight. Now, I am going to save my game because this guy can be either very easy or very hard.
Uh-huh.
And basically, what I like to do is, this guy has this. We basically have to fight that giant statue with that sword that we saw. However, yeah, this guy has a projectile that is a homing shot. However, there's a very easy way to avoid this guy, and yeah, I'm basically just gonna show. I'm just gonna go because this guy is pretty easy. Now, he also has a melee attacks, but yeah, you gotta be like in his face. Also, I should have started from the right side because I'm pretty sure he can actually shoot me from where I'm at. So yeah, I like this guy roar. And yeah, basically what I like to do is as soon as he shoots, I like to do a side flip. So get ready or when he charges the shoot. So yeah, charge the shot and there you go. And yeah, basically we're just gonna shoot him with the shotgun. Now, every 4 to 5 hits, you will actually stun this guy. And you may also notice that you're actually going to destroy parts of him, which is pretty awesome. Okay, I don't want to be here. And oh, what the heck was that? And there he goes. Now, when he dies, he's gonna take a plunge, and you want to be careful because if he lands on top of you, he can actually kill you. And yeah, that has actually happened to me one time. When I was actually trying to do this game, no loads, no meds. Now, by killing this guy, 3 things happened. Well, first of all, we have these Uzi clips and small med pack. And we also have a small med pack to the left. Right over here. But yeah, by killing this guy, 3 things happened. The first thing that happened is we destroyed this glass. We can actually go back into this area. The second thing that happened is we opened the door underwater so we can actually go ahead and claim the second symbol. However, the third thing that happened, which I forgot to mention because I was talking, is that we opened the gate back here that will allow us to claim the third secret. So yeah, let's go over here into this opening, and as you can see, the gate is open, and we can now claim the final secret of the level. So yeah, we check our statistics. We're going to see that secrets, we got 3 out of 3. So that's awesome. Alright, so now we're going to move on to the final section of the level. Yeah, like I mentioned, these levels are pretty short compared to the levels in Tomb Raider 3 and the videos in Tomb Raider 4, because yeah, let's be real, if I did a level for every individual section in Tomb Raider 4, well, first off, that game would probably take me like around 50 parts, or maybe around 50 parts. But also, some of those videos would be less than 5 minutes. I mean, Hall of Demetrius, Alexandria are some of them. You know, I can make a video of me going back to City of the Dead and get the second secret, and that's and that could be it. But yeah, I didn't want to do stuff like that. Now, I guess I should mention that once you get into this area, actually, I think we can actually go back here, but actually no, because I think that gate down there is gonna shut. So yeah, make sure you save your game before you pull out here, because yeah, as soon as you pull out here, we get a cutscene.
Come out wherever you are.
Heck, this ambushing ain't what it used to be.
Not when you're involved, no.
Practice makes perfect, I'm reckoning.
Whatever. We seem to be missing someone.
If you's talking about Frenchie, he's kinda indisposed.
And you thought you might just help yourself to his share of what's behind that gate? Unless, of course, this is just a social visit.
Well, you know I's always pleased to see a little belle like you, Laura. Be more pleased to see that last stone, though, if you'll be wanting to hand it over. That ain't supposed to happen.
Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go over here behind the temple, because right here we got some items. However, once you start the fight with Larson, Larson will stay on the door, on the entrance to this temple for pretty much the entire fight. So yeah, he will actually not chase after you as he does in Tomb Raider 1. So as you can see, there he is. Which makes this fight very easy. And yeah, even though I'm like low on health, yeah, this guy Larson is very easy in this game, or in this level, or actually in this game. But yeah, basically what I'm gonna do is, well, actually I'm gonna save my game. But yeah, basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the same thing, the same strategy I did against him in the last level, which is just side jump to the left, or side jump when I have the opportunity. But yeah, basically just, I think it takes like, I want to say 10 shots with a revolver. But yeah, basically just jump sideways, and eventually he'll take a plunge. And yeah, he did. And yeah, this Larson is probably the hardest part of the level because he does head scan attacks.
Larson, behind you.
I may be a dumbass, but I ain't falling for that again.
No, really. Behind you.
Behind you! Behind you!
Well, sucks to be him. Okay, so we're gonna save our game again because now we have to fight these triple snakes, and these guys can be either very easy or very hard because the way you have to damage them is you want to well, first off, I'm gonna use my wide shot shotgun shells, and basically what you want to do is you want to shoot at the snakes when their head is or when they're about to shoot fire. Yeah, basically, I'm just gonna wait for them to be out of position. And yeah, now I'm just gonna fight these guys. Now, one thing you can do is by pressing the look button, you can actually change your target. Now, the reason I'm using the wide shot shotgun shells is because when I shoot at the shotgun, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes I will hit more than one snake. And as you can see, we have one guy dead, two guys dead, and then we got one more. Now these guys also have a charge attack, but they're not going to hit you unless you stand far away. Yeah, let's go ahead and get this guy. And there we go. Very easy. And one shot remaining. That is awesome. Alright, now before we use the stones or the symbols, we have some white shot shotgun shells and some normal shot shotgun shells. And yeah, right here we can actually use the two symbols that we got to finally open this door. Now, something you can do if you're good on health is you can actually use the stones and actually get to the end of the level while Larson is firing at you. And yeah, you can actually end the level, or you can actually beat this level without fighting the snake statues, which is pretty awesome. All right, so as you can see, we crossed this rainbow wall, and yeah, we cannot go back, so we are trapped in this rainbow dimension. But if we continue on, we may notice that, yeah, over there in the distance, we have the Philosopher's Stone. So yeah, we are pretty much there. So let's go ahead and jump and claim our prize, and unfortunately get trolled. Oh my god, it's the Temple of Xi'an all over again. Oh no. But with that said, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for this that is it for Trajan's Markets, and that is it for this level. And yeah, next time we meet, we're gonna go to, believe it or not, the final level of the Rome chapter. Because yeah, every single, well, with the exception of the next chapter, every single section in this game has only 3 levels. So yeah, it's kind of similar to Egypt and the Atlantis levels from Tomb Raider. Oh my god, Tomb Raider 1. But yeah, I'm just gonna end it on the statistics. And yeah, next time we meet, we're gonna move on to the Colosseum. Not Colosseum, but the Colosseum. You see? Because we have "the" in the title, it's a completely different. It makes this a completely different level from Colosseum from Tomb Raider 1. But with that said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for watching this episode of the Tomb Raider Marathon. I'm Jonathan Wolf, and yeah, next time we're going to be finishing the Rome chapter. And, oh god. But until then, I will see you all in the next video. Take it easy, everyone.